CV Boats presents Florida Sport Fishing, television for the avid angler, powered by Mercury Marine.
Oh, yeah. There's a sailfish. Already got a bite. Ridiculous.
Another one on, another one on.
That's what it's all about right there.
Nice jump.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Florida Sport Fishing TV proudly utilizes and endorses Lindgren Pittman, purpose-built, high-capacity 12 and 24-volt electric deep drop, dredge, and daytime swordfish reels. #1 in design, ease of use, reliability, and power. Motor Guide, precise maneuverability equals better fishing. Tropic Trailer, Florida's largest dealer, has the right trailer at the right price.
Hey guys, welcome to Florida Sport Fishing TV. I'm Captain Mike. We've got Captain Carlos up in the bow. We're aboard our Mercury-powered CV390Z, and we're gonna spend the day sharing a deep water jigging episode with you. We're gonna do a lot of slow pitch jigging, that's our focus, and really show you how to fish these deep spots. And when I say deep, 300, 400, 5, even 600 feet, and being able to jig on the bottom and throughout the water column for a variety of different species. We've got a little bit of a northwest breeze this morning. It's coming on, dying out, coming on, dying out. But we'll deal with it. Oh, and hooked up and
got
pretty
him.
tight. Looks like Carlos is hooked up in the bow as well. We've got a couple of fish on here. Good way to start the morning. I'll tell you, the thing about this slow pitch jigging, it's a system. I can't stress it enough, you know? And it really makes you think. It makes you think about what the conditions are like and taking everything into consideration when selecting the proper rod, the proper line, the proper jig. I'm fishing a 150, I'm fishing a 200-gram jig, a couple of different jigs. Trying to really get dialed in to see what's gonna provide that best vertical presentation. And that's the key. Is a straight up and down vertical presentation. And that's on a 200-gram, what we call the long jig. Long, skinny, gets to the bottom really fast. Great for fast current situations, mid current situations. Smack that thing way up in the water. Oh!
In the water column?
I mean, way up in the water column, yeah.
So that
Maybe
like
like
could be something
100
different.
feet off the bottom.
That might be something different then.
That's a really awesome thing about jigging these deep spots is you can fish throughout the entire water column and just not know what you're gonna catch with. Oh, whoa, swimming up, swimming up, swimming up.
That might be a pelagic.
We're gonna talk a lot about the different jigs, the different styles, the different sizes, when to fish what jig, along with the rods, the reels, the line, the whole system. Whoa, there he goes, look at that.
He's dumping you.
Woo!
I hear it.
Yes! Woo, big king.
Kingfish?
Big king.
I got you, I got you.
I got him.
You sure?
Yeah. Got him.
Hey, got him.
That's the way to
Good
do
job.
it right there. There's one for the smoker. How about that? On a slow pitch jig right there. Fiberglass. They use it to build boats and yachts because of its strength and durability. And that's exactly what every frigid rigid cooler is made out of. This is my set after 12 years, and I keep them outdoors. With industrial grade rubber gasket and stainless steel hinges with backing plates, not a single component has failed on any of them. Can you honestly say that about your coolers? From 35 to 300 quarts, there's a frigid rigid cooler, coffin box, or freezer for every boat.
When you're in command of a boat with Mercury 400 horsepower Verados, you might start to feel like you're someone that fish should fear, that the water should respect, and that the world should acknowledge. Until you realize you are all those things. The new Mercury 400 horsepower Verado. Power, control, and speed in a lightweight package.
What if navigating was as simple as touch and go? It is that simple. The world's first multi-touch MFD chart plotter, Navnet TZ Touch.
Was that way up off the bottom?
On the bottom.
On the bottom.
Oh, this is big. Oh, it doesn't want to come up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's something different.
That's
That
a
is
little
something
weight
different.
to it?
Huh?
Something with a little weight?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it feels like something different. Unless I got him sideways.
Oh, whoa my God!
Oh my
look at
God!
that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
Ooh, moly, that's the one. That's the one right there, baby. That's the one. Oh, just clobbered it. Clobbered that jig and just went straight back to the bottom. What a great bite that was. I mean, literally like hitting a concrete wall. That was awesome.
Sorry. Yeah. I didn't mean to.
Oh,
But he was taking
no!
like crazy.
Can't stop him! Get out of there. Oh, got me in the wreck.
I don't know what I got here. I was 10 feet off the bottom and just felt like a little bump, and then the rod loaded up and it really loaded up. Like a lot different than what I've been hooking. So he's actually pulling mine and wanting to go back down. So giving me a little huff and puff action over here too. Making me work. Sun's out now. Maybe the fish are just waking up, starting to feel the warmth of the sun. They're like, yeah, let's eat. It's time to eat. Oh, you see this? I mean,
This is the exact jig that he's fishing right there. And what's important is not only the size, the shape, but it's about balance. It's about the split rings. It's about the welded ring. You know, in this particular case, this is a 150 gram jig. It's got an 88-pound split ring on the top and the bottom holding the assist hooks on. You can see that the assist hooks are right on that split ring right there. Okay, it's an 88-pound split ring. You don't need a 150, you don't need a 300-pound split ring on a jig this size when you're only gonna put this much pressure on it. Up on the top, the same thing. There's a split ring that's holding the assist hooks on, and then there's a little welded ring, and that's a 110-pound test welded ring right there, and that's where you're gonna tie your leader to. So it's not only the jig, it's the entire system. The hooks, the split rings, the welded ring, everything has to work together. There we go. Dude, nice size, nice size. Oh yeah. So that's that amberjack, you can see,
Yep.
not as oval, you know,
Longer and slender.
streamlined. Yep, more
Still thick, though.
streamlined. Oh yeah, look at that, that fish is really thick. Dude, great catch on that rod.
Rigging Station, brought to you by Pelagic, high-performance offshore gear.
Hi, and welcome to this episode's Rigging Station. I want to talk to you in depth about jig selection. You're watching this episode, watching a slow pitch jigging, deep water, 300 to 600 foot, a lot of success, but it all boils down to jig selection. You know, this used to be my assortment of jigs right here. As I was getting more and more into slow pitch jigging, I would just acquire whatever jigs I believed would be effective. And as time went on, before you know it, I've got hundreds, thousands of dollars invested in a wide assortment of jigs. And it really became problematic, you know, deciding which jig to tie on what particular day based on the venue. So many different sizes, shapes, color patterns, weights, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Over the years, and with a lot of trial and error, I've narrowed it down to make slow pitch jigging more effective and easier, not only for myself, but for you too. We've put together a 6-pack of proven jigs, and I'll tell you what, This is all that you need for 98% of all of the venues that you're gonna fish here in the Atlantic and across the Gulf of Mexico. This 6-pack of jigs replaces all of this right here. It starts with what we call the Fat Boy. This is a proven design. We didn't invent this jig. It's a proven design. We've selected a very specific color pattern in the acid with bright glow. It's got tremendous wobble. It pitches like crazy. It's an ideal jig and an ideal shape to fish in low current scenarios. This is not the jig that you want to fish in heavy current. Low current, because it's wide, wobbly, catches a lot of water. Available in 2 different sizes, 180 grams, 250 grams to cover almost all of the bases. It's a perfect jig to fish on or near the bottom for tilefish, snapper, grouper. They absolutely love it, but the blackfin tuna will clobber it as well. From there, we go up to what we call the stub. This is perhaps the most versatile slow pitch jig in our entire collection here. It could be fished in a wide array of venues and depths, slow current, medium current, high current, anywhere from 100 to 700 feet of water. It's available in a couple different sizes, a small stub at 150 grams, and then a little bit larger at 250 grams. That same acid, heavy glow right there. Perfect color pattern throughout the entire water column, perfect color pattern daytime and nighttime. If you're only gonna have one slow pitch jig, make it the stub, that's for sure. And then finally, we have what we call the long jig. This is somewhat of a specialty jig. It is ideally designed for heavy current situations. So we know if we're facing a 1.5 knots, 2 knots of current, my only option is gonna be that long jig, especially if I'm fishing deeper water, 400, 500, 600, 700 feet of water. I'm gonna turn to the long jig in either that 300 gram size or 200 grams if I can get away with that on the shallower side of things. Same color pattern with the acid, heavy glow, just a little bit of extra color with some blue and pinks for that deeper water. But I'll tell you what, this is a must-have in your collection. Narrow down the search, refine your tactics, become a more successful angler, get your hands on a 6-pack of jigs at fsfgear.com, and I'll tell you what, you're gonna thank me for it.
The award-winning Z Performance line from CV raises the bar. It's not just fast. It's not just fuel efficient. The CVZ is the entire package. It offers the perfect balance, safe, predictable handling during hard turns and at high speed. And most importantly, the Z stays on plane at lower speed, so it can comfortably handle anything Mother Nature can dish out. Experience the exhilarating ride of the CVZ. Schedule a sea trial today.
Boats get dirty, that's a fact. Thankfully, Rejuvenate Marine uses patented nanotechnology to make your boat cleaning faster and easier, literally cutting your cleaning time in half. Watch this. With highly concentrated biodegradable ingredients across their complete line of cleaning and care products, Rejuvenate Marine lasts longer while providing professional cleaning power that's safe for all surfaces and for the environment. Rejuvenate Marine. Spend more time fishing and less time cleaning.
It's your turn to score big. Book a long-range adventure aboard the legendary Yankee Captains. Fish virgin waters more than 100 miles offshore for exotic queen snapper, trophy tilefish, monster grouper, and more. With a lifetime of experience, let Captain Greg Mercurio and his dedicated crew put you on a hot bite. Fish around the clock or just relax. With full galley and huge fish boxes, all you'll need to bring is your appetite for action. Now sailing from Key West year-round.
575 feet, right on the bottom. This breeze picked up here considerably, not what we were expecting. And right now, 15 to 20, you don't really see it because it's at a northwest, but it's honking right in our faces. So we have to make a couple of adjustments to try and achieve the right presentation here. Number one, we put out the sea anchor, and that's slowing us down a little bit. We went from drifting at about 2 knots to about 1.5 knots. And believe it or not, that half a knot can make a big, big difference. And we also adjusted the size of our jig. We were fishing 150 early this morning, then 300-gram long jigs. And now I stepped it up to a 400-gram jig. This is all high-end Torre carbon fiber blanks. Look at that. Oh yeah, oh, he's digging right back toward the bottom. Good quality, real fresh line. You know, I can't stress how important that is to make sure that your braid is not damaged in any way. Nice fresh leader. And it allows us to fish right on the bottom, like I said, in 575 feet to be exact.
That's a good fish, man.
I know, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's like a nice tile, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a nice tile fish.
Look at that.
Look at that one.
Look at that, boy.
Yeah, baby. Nice fatty.
He was hungry.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that thing was just down there on the bottom. Saw that jig, just smashed it right there. Hey, let's take a break from the action. Check out our Captain's Kitchen. I'm going to show you a really cool way to cook fish. A new and innovative approach to cooking a wide variety of fish and all seafood in general, but certainly really nice fish steaks and fillets with a homemade sweet and tangy tartar sauce. You're gonna love it.
Sounds 5-star, man.
It is, baby.
Oh, buddy.
Captain's Kitchen, brought to you by Diamond Fishing, the finest monofilament, fluorocarbon, and braided fishing line.
On this episode's Captain's Kitchen, we're gonna talk about sous vide fish, a really awesome technique to cook a wide variety of fish at a low temperature in a vacuum sealed bag. It's gonna retain all of that aromatic flavor, all of the moisture and the juices in the fish, and essentially you're cooking it at a very low but consistent temperature for a long period of time. In this particular case, these fillets, we seasoned them with just a mix of salt, pepper, garlic powder, a little bit of turmeric. You can use whatever spices you'd like. We've added a little bit of butter, a lemon wedge, fresh garlic, and some fresh parsley and tarragon from the garden, but you can, again, use whatever fresh herbs that you would like. We pop those vacuum sealed bags into that water, we immerse them in the water, and we cook them for approximately 90 minutes at 130 degrees. And what you end up with is just a very consistent piece of fish that's buttery soft from beginning to end, from the outside in. Very consistent. And I'll tell you, there's no other way to cook fish where it's so consistent. From there, what we've done is created some really nice fish sandwiches. We started with a fresh bun. We've made our own concoction of tartar sauce, which is nothing more than finely chopped sweet and spicy pickles to give it a little bit of tang, a little bit of heat, along with a teaspoon of mayonnaise, some fresh lime juice for some additional tardiness, and a dash of salt and pepper. Mix that together, dollop on the top and on the bottom of the bun, some butter leaf lettuce, some fresh, beautiful heirloom tomatoes, a little bit of red onion, pop that fish fillet on there, and I'll tell you what, you have one of the best fish sandwiches you've ever eaten. All right, I'm going for it right here. These things are huge. It's amazing, even this far away, like I said, 600 feet, and you can tell instantly when that jig contacts the bottom. You know, you can tell exactly what it's doing, sliding over to the side, fluttering. It's all about that situational awareness, all about that jig awareness, you know, that we talked about and I mentioned so many times. You want to be a good jig fisherman? You better know what your jig is doing. If you can't figure that out, you'll never get dialed in. There he is, right there. Right there. Yeah, that one's a little bit better, right there.
Again?
And again, this one, right off the bottom. Literally, if I tell you that jig was 6 inches off the bottom, I'd be surprised. That would look like a Grouper. That
Snowy?
would look like a snowy grouper. Hoo!
Good job.
Target species acquired. Yeah. Hey, listen, it's not a giant snowy grouper, but that's a snowy grouper nonetheless. Is that gorgeous or what? And as they get larger, they lose those spots. But these smaller, medium-sized snowies, they maintain those spots. And how about those eyes? And that face? Is that a face only a mother could love or what?
Florida Sport Fishing is the #1 magazine for resident and visiting anglers. Each giant issue is packed with informative editorials, easy-to-follow illustrations, and tips to keep you hooked up. Subscribe today, and I'll deliver the magazine to your home for only 4 cents a day. Visit FSFTV.com right now, and I'll also include a hat, unlimited access to Florida Sport Fishing Digimag for your tablet and phone, and a special gift to keep you cool on and off the water.
Another one on the jig. Woo!
That's grouper dynamo.
Yeah! How's that for a sea monster?
Chaos Gear matters. Shop online or visit our new superstore for everything fishing.
The secret's out. Now you can show off a great catch with a trophy smile for a fraction of the cost. Vacation in Costa Rica and complete all of your cosmetic and restorative dental needs. Minutes from San Jose, Top Dental Care's ultra-modern facility utilizes the latest technology and only FDA-approved materials. U.S.-trained doctors specialize in dental implants, dentures, bridges, crowns, and veneers. And don't forget about family and friends. At Top Dental Care Costa Rica, you don't have to make a great catch to show off a trophy smile.
Florida Sport Fishing TV proudly utilizes and endorses VMC Coastal Black Hooks, engineered to withstand saltwater. Taco Marine, official outrigger system of Florida Sport Fishing TV. Boat Outfitters, a huge selection of tackle storage systems to keep you organized and your lines tight. Salt Life Optics, anti-glare Zeiss lenses, provide unparalleled protection and polarization.
Feels like a nice fish for sure. In the deep water here. Moved out to almost 600 foot. And we're tight. You know, again, when you're fighting these fish, just nice and easy. You've got them hooked. You know, also as that fish clears that structure and is slowly coming up, you can back off on the drag a little bit as well. This whole slow pitch jigging, you know, it's not only about the presentation, but it's also about proper fish fighting skills. You know, not only the fundamentals, but there's some specifics that really come into play with this equipment. Like I said, it's really working that drag. That's why I prefer the star drag. A lot of guys like that lever drag reel in this application. The Accurates, I mean, Simoneaux, there's so many different choices. I prefer that Daiwa Saltiga with the star drag. It's really easy to make slight adjustments. And that's the proper position right there. If you can see, I've got the spool cupped, my thumb right on the spool. The reel cupped, I should say. I'm using my index finger there. I can guide the line on the reel if I need to. Rod tucked way in under the arm for plenty of leverage. And of course the cranking hand. And you know, if you need to, you can slowly lift up a little bit, but you're not gonna high stick it. You know, again, you're not gonna come way up and down. You know, the one thing about slow pitch tackle, you've gotta have that intimate relationship with your gear. You've got to know exactly how much heat you can apply right to that breaking point. What can you put on your connections? What can you put on your leader, your knots, your hooks? And the way to do that is when you get hung up, and you will get hung up, trust me, in the bottom, in a wreck or on a reef. Just tighten up that drag, you know, after you've tried everything you can do to get that jig out, and you can't. Tighten up on that drag, thumb the spool, point the rod right at the line. And as the boat drifts away and it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and you're just feeling that tight, a pop, and then it busts. You know that's your breaking point. And I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, for most guys that are fishing slow pitch tackle, or if you're just getting into slow pitch fishing, you are gonna be incredibly surprised where that breaking point is, where that threshold is. The ability to drop a jig 600 feet and catch a beautiful, beautiful bottom fish like that. So rewarding. Dude, that could very well be the biggest gray tile, blue line tile that I've caught here off the southeast coast, certainly in many, many years. I think that's gonna wrap up our show here. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, picked up some tips, and really learned a lot about how effective this tactic can be in a variety of depths with a variety of different species. Deep water jigging, that's something that as tackle continues to advance, technology continues to advance with the equipment that we're fishing, we're gonna continue to target fish in deeper venues, more extreme, and I'll tell you, we're gonna be more and more rewarded for our efforts. It's not about quantity, it's about quality, and it's about catching fish the way that you want them to. Don't forget to check us out online, Instagram, Facebook. Check out fsfgear.com to get your hands on all of the equipment that you've seen on today's show, so you too can get out there and catch a beautiful fish, beautiful bottom fish like that on a jig. We'll see you next week. Nice.
To learn more about the tactics and techniques seen on today's show and to subscribe to Florida Sport Fishing Magazine, visit floridasportfishing.com and get hooked up.